When I am in survival mode, everything feels exhausting, it feels heavy and chaotic. I was constantly operating in a very masculine energy and space, just pushing and striving and hustling 24/7. And it always felt like I was behind. It felt like I was always on edge. And that pressure just weighed on me. It's weighed on me my whole life. And in episode 2, I talk a little bit about my past journey over the past 2 years. And looking back now, I can see just how much I needed to shift into something a bit more softer. Welcome to the Grace Space. I am so glad that you guys are here today. I'm Marisa, and today I want to share how I transitioned from survival mode into feeling chaotic and constantly pushing to embracing a more grounded, feminine energy that helps me truly just be aligned with myself and the people around me. Today, I will be talking about how this shift brought me peace and allowed me to connect more deeply with creativity and my purpose. So, understanding feminine energy is not something that I've always even knew what it was. It kind of started for me during the pandemic, where I was really bored in the house and I ordered a bunch of Queen Afua's work on divine feminine energy. And I was very intrigued. I just got through all of her readings very quickly. And I was slowly integrating, taking baths and different foods just to enhance what this feminine energy term is that's being kind of thrown around. And it was really something new that I've never heard before. But I want to say the Queen Afua books were the intro into this phrase that we are all hearing, raised in a single parent household, which for me, single meant my dad was still in my life, but my mom, was there for the day to day. She was go, go, go with 5 kids, always doing everything on her own, burning herself out and doing what she had to do, And so that mindset shaped and followed me into everything I did into my career, especially in male dominated spaces where I needed to negotiate, stand up for myself, and keep up with how I handled everything. And ultimately, how I felt like I had to survive in these spaces. This followed me even in my relationship after marriage with my husband up until, if you want to go check out episode 2, these past 2 years, I was really, really operating in a very masculine space, even after learning what feminine even meant. And when it comes on the topic of my husband, I prayed on my hands and knees for a husband. That is something I am not ashamed to say. And when I think about even my daughters now, they call him big, strong man. And I'm like, yes, big, strong man, be my big, strong man. I don't want to do all this heavy work and all this work. I want to be a girl, a woman, sometimes a little girl, just be my big, strong man. Save me from everything. I don't want to be a strong woman anymore. I'm not interested in saving the world. But if you need me to save the world, I will pop up and show. But I want to come back to this feminine space. And it's just very uncommon. It's just not something that I practiced growing up, not anything I was introduced to. So adapting to this new role is something different for me. It's something new for me, but it is something that I know that I needed to shift into because all the problems and chaos it was creating for me, my life, my body, my mind. One small change I made in grounding myself in a more feminine energy, and please don't laugh. And I know I am not hating, but I've been choosing to wear skirts over pants. And that sounds funny. I am not hating on the pants. The pantsuits, there's some fire pantsuits. I love a good jean, but I have been more aware of wearing a good skirt or just a cute dress because it it's something about a dress where it just makes me feel a bit more softer. I have to slow down. I can't just bend over and pick things up or try to lift heavy things. I have to ask for help. And it's just like a little choice that has been helping me in these past months to be a bit more intentional about getting out of that hustle mode. This little choice has just helped me. I don't know. You can try it. Let me know. But it's just something about wearing a little skirt or a dress that has been helping me stay, a little cutesy feminine girl. On top of that, this shift has been about bracing my role in a supportive, balanced way. I no longer feel like I have to do it all. I can lean into my husband's strengths. I can lean into my coworkers' strengths when I need it. And that's okay. I just mentioned like my daughter calls my husband big, strong man. And I love that because it reminds me that, yeah, I can rest. I can get support. Like I don't have to do everything. But again, I understand that we were raised to feel like we did have to do everything, especially as a Black woman, a woman in a space with men, like you just feel like you have to overcompensate. And that is no fault to anybody, right? Like we all have these patterns that we've learned. But right now in my life, it's about recognizing other areas that can help support who I truly am, which is one, a woman. One, I am gentle, I am soft, and I think I always wanted to be, but in some situations I couldn't be. I had to be the aggressor, or I had to stand up for myself, or I had to just support and protect myself. And so that has just kind of showed up in maybe negative ways. And it's not to say that I am not operating in a masculine way sometimes, but it's like when I choose to turn that on, right? And when I know and feel safe enough to turn it off. And that's what I think is really important, is to feel safe enough to be able to be feminine. And what do those environments actually look like for a woman like myself, a very high functioning woman? What do those spaces look like to where we feel safe enough so we can turn off that masculine energy that is still very beneficial, I feel like, for growth and balance and prosperity? But when can we then turn on this feminine energy that makes me personally feel like I'm at home with myself? It's been freeing not to constantly feel like I have to save the world. Instead, I can just jump in when I really need to jump in and then rest. I'm finding ways to save my energy that brings me a sense of peace. And I think that's very important for women. What does peace look like to you? And peace looks like, for me, being able to come home, make dinner, read with my kids, and then go to bed at like 8 o'clock and not have to stay up all night and try to figure everything out. Peace to me, like my husband's very good at this, and taking a bath. Sometimes I feel like I'm just too exhausted to not take a bath, but peaceful is being able to just get in the bath and just, watch a little TikTok, but I'm in the bath relaxing. This choice to be grounded rather than to always be in hustle and survival mode, for me, it's made such a difference in my relationship and in my home. It's not about like rejecting my strengths, like I said, but using them wisely. I'm leaning into just being versus having to do more. And that's what's been bringing me a sense of calmness that I just really didn't know I needed in my life. You hear the word grounding a lot now. It's kind of a buzzword. And I feel like grounding can mean yoga, more common breath work and things like that, Reiki. But I think that for me, all those things are great and I do practice those things, but it's just everyday common household things for me that have been keeping me grounded. I've mentioned it before, making bread. I have to find things that connect me to, yes, my feminine energy, but my creativity. If you're creative, that if you're not creating, if you're not in a space of growing and thinking about new things and learning, then you kind of just feel depleted. And I had to naturally flow into practices that keep me fully energized and just, embracing the processes and the activities that allowed me to just unfold naturally into this person today. And who this person is by any means is not arrived. I am not at the top of the mountain. Like, these are things that I am growing into, that I'm learning every day. Have I seen a significant change from last year? Absolutely. But I'm still struggling with staying in this space. But I also know that when I do struggle, I can fall back into these creative practices that give me life, that keep me feminine. And I've mentioned a few, breaking bread, the slowing down, people post photos of proof of life. Making sourdough starter is literally proof of life, because you will feed it, and then a few hours later, you will see it grow. You can hear it crackling. And in my depressive state, something about feeding this dough, this water, this flour just kept me so happy. I would wake up so early in the morning just to knead the bread, just thinking about new recipes to make. It made me so excited to cut into this bread and feed it to my family. And again, yeah, it's kind of not taboo to say oh, women should cook, but there's something about me making bread that makes me feel very feminine, and feeding it to my family and knowing that my family are getting healthy nutrients is something that feeds my femininity in ways that I really can't explain. And again, I don't think we should be embarrassed to say that, yeah, okay, I'm a woman and I like to cook. I don't think we should be ashamed of that. But that's something that has been helping me stay grounded, is making bread. Also making candles. Again, this is something creative, right? Because you're able to try different scents and work with the formulation and, see the final product after you melt the wax. It's something about these practices for me that are, one, trial and error, right? And then you keep going because you want to improve it. And it's just something that it does to me, where it just makes me happy to see the final product, to hear my neighbors or friends say, wow, this smells really good, or this made my house light up, the lavender, the sage. And that's just been something else that I've been doing that helps me, again, stay in this energy of creativity and really just being a feminine little girl. Working out. I know everybody talks about working out, but what I've been learning in this working out journey is that every day is not the same. Some days, I go into my garage and I want to lift 100 pounds of weight and I feel super strong and super intense. And then other days I just want to take a walk. Some days I want to just stretch, and I'm learning that that's okay. I know there's this term for this and I need to do more research about it. My sister is telling me about it, where you have to basically be in tune with your body and in tune with your cycle and where you are at in the space and time of month that it is. And that dictates and determines how you move your body. But what I've come to realize is it's just that you move your body. And the days that I am feeling super sad or super uninspired, I just got to go outside. And that has been helping me tremendously in this journey called feminine life. When everything is just flowing, that's when I know I'm aligned. And recently I was planning an event and working on a few creative projects, and I felt that beautiful sense of flow where, everything is just clicking. It's the feeling when I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to be doing. And, feminine energy lets me operate in this openness and connection that allows me to just fall right into place. In one of my last events, which was all about honoring and empowering women in business, I really leaned into this balance where I've been working towards being more feminine and showing up as myself in spaces. And I decided not to wear pants again. Nothing on pants. It was just, I was at this event with some very powerful women, and unconsciously I was like, why is everyone in pantsuits? I love a good pantsuit, but I was like, no one has on a dress. I don't know what that is. I need to dig a little deeper into that. But for this event in particular, where we were honoring women in business, I was like, let me go find a cute, skirt set And so I found this little cute business skirt set. It was a little short, but hey, and I opted into wearing it. I'm like, hey, let me try this out. And so I felt a very feminine energy, when I slipped that little number on. And in this last event, everybody had, their tasks, their roles and responsibilities. In the past, I have been running around with my head cut off, trying to control everything, do everything, and really not even able to enjoy the event that I worked so hard to, one, get, and then two, create. And so for this particular event, this allowed me to slow down, get my hair done, get my makeup done, kiki with my friends. And I was able to really show up in my skirt the way I wanted to. And, I was able to speak to sponsors and potential clients confidently, but it was all in a more softer, more grounded energy. Standing there in my heels, being fully present. I knew that I was still every bit a boss babe, but just now more aligned in a way that feels good and powerful and just right, using my beauty and my presence as a strength. And it just felt like it was all clicking, and I was just so here for it. Again, I have not arrived. I am still a work in progress. But I know that I've done some work. And so if you're like me and you've just been in go, go, go mode your whole life and you just want a few tips on how to get more in your feminine energy, here's a few practices that keep me grounded. 1, set an intentional space. Surround yourself with things that inspire you. For me, it's candles. When I'm working, I put soft ambient music. I light some sage. I wear flowy clothes sometimes. I just let it all breathe. Sometimes I don't even wear a bra, okay? I just have to be in a space of comfort and feeling very pretty. Number 2, practice movements, physical activity, like I mentioned in the video. Be in tune with your body. Maybe it's just walking outside. I think I'm going to get a treadmill. Because maybe sometimes it's cold outside and I don't want to go outside. And I'm just going to walk on the treadmill. Maybe it's stretching. I have some issues with like my hip. And sometimes I just need a good stretch for 35 minutes. And that makes all the difference. It opens me up, and it just gets me moving. Move your body. The older we get, y'all, we need this body to work for us. Number 3, trust the process. Embrace flow over perfection. Feminine energy thrives when you're just allowing yourself to unfold in a natural state. We do not want to just exist. We want to be able to just be. Showing up with just who you are. And you know what? A lot of times we don't even know who that is. So just trusting the process that you are setting the intention to figure out who you even are. That's crazy. Who are you? Right? And I'm still learning that. I'm still growing in that. But I can say that this space of just being a woman and learning that it's okay to be a woman. It's okay to want a big, strong man in your life. That's okay. So just trust the process. Thank you again for joining me on this journey of flow. I have not arrived. So I am thankful that you're even listening to me, that you're allowing me to be vulnerable, to experiment, to show up as me, right? I am so appreciative of all of your comments, of your support in this journey for myself, because again, even shooting this and turning on my camera is a creative outlet for me to get all of this, information, all of this experience out into the world. Because sometimes, we feel like we're alone in this. I have felt alone and I just need to get it out. And so this has been a great space for me to keep myself grounded and peaceful and aligned and just being very honest with myself, because this is another way to keep me accountable, right? I wanted to start this channel. I wanted to be consistent for you all. And I wanted to show you me and not hide behind, a guest or my co-host or, a big production. I just wanted to come on here and just be authentic and myself and allow you to see another perspective of what a boss babe could be, right? Or an entrepreneur or a mom or a wife, because I am not perfect and none of us are. And a lot of the content that I see is perfect. And behind the scenes, I know a lot of these people who aren't. And so again, I just want to thank you again for giving me grace, allowing grace for yourself, and showing up at the grace space once again, to be us, to be women, to be men, right? To just be who we are and thrive in that as people of color, as Black people, like knowing that we can, be creative, be soft, be gentle, rest, and that we still are loved. So again, follow me on the Grace Space podcast on TikTok, the Grace Space on Instagram, and make sure to follow Mommy Needs a Break Network for more great content from me. See you next time.